Okay, so we should be live here. Zoom that down. Nobody needs to see my Facebook. It is boring. And of course, I forgot to put my phone on silent because I always do. So, vibrate now. All right. Um, so, this whole thing is about taking a or making a card from scratch, essentially, from start to finish, using my bootlegger tool that I just released. It's free. It's on the official Philsinger Games forums and the Philsinger Promoters Facebook page. I will probably post the links to it in Grant's Philsinger Promoters Discord as well, but I haven't done that yet. So you should be able to get it. It's around. It's free. Um, I am accepting donations for it though. There is a button in the tool that'll take you to a PayPal.me link and allow you to donate. It's not required. If you do, thank you so much. I appreciate it a ton. Um, but don't donate unless you're gonna get some use out of it. I didn't release it to make money. So, anywho, let's get to it then. We're going to load up Bootlegger here. Um, Once you install it, it'll show up in your. If you just go to All Apps, it'll be under B, if I remember right. Bootlegger, yep. So there you go. And it will start up, no problem. And this is the screen you'll be greeted with. This is the basic, um, card layout screen. We're going to do one card today. I've chosen to do Tojo Yamamoto from Travis Heckel's Legends of Memphis set. It's freely available on Hexstar's Bootleg Archive, so I figured it would be a good card to use. I colored it, so I'm using the colored version. But whatever. It's I just wanted to be sure that the card was publicly available before I used it in the tutorial. And stats are the same, so basically, yeah, you should be able to get this card minus the coloring easily enough. So the first thing you're going to want to do is select the front image. There, at least that's the first thing I do. I have all my bootlegs stored here. So we're going to go to individual boots and then find Tojo Yamamoto. Select the front. And you'll notice he's got a weird border here. That's because you have two options with the front. You can have it go all the way to the edge, or you can have it automatically insert the white border in case your art doesn't have it already and you want it. This card already has the white border added, so I'm just going to uncheck use border, and it will go ahead and expand the card out so that it fills the whole screen, and the card will use its own border that's actually included on the artwork. The next thing you want to do, or the next thing I generally do, is select the logo image. I don't recommend using official Philsinger Games stuff for this. I am going to use that for the tutorial though, because I have an easily accessible Legends of Wrestling logo right there. So that's going to go ahead and put this logo on the card in the correct spot. And then the last thing you're going to want to do is a headshot. So if you have a headshot file already, you can hit select headshot and then select it. If you don't and you just want to generate one using the art on the card, you're going to use this option right here, take headshot, and it will bring up this little red border here. And you're going to position that over his head. And when it's in a position that you like, you can resize it using those buttons there. It can get pretty big. That's not really a headshot anymore, but for some cards that are like just the head, or mostly the head, you might end up wanting to use something like that to make sure that you get what you need. That's the too small one, so we're going to go with the second option here. Let's position it to get his head. I want a little bit of the stick. And then once you have it in position where you like it, you click the little camera icon up here, and it's going to create a headshot for you for the back of your card. and it'll put that away so that you don't see it anymore. Everything's good from there. The next thing I like to do is set up the color template or the color palette here. Tojo's a Japanese wrestler, so I think I'm going to go with a general Japanese palette. I know that's a little bit stereotypical, but why not? We'll go with maybe that color red. And if you decide you want to create like a palette and you don't want to have to select colors every time, you just hit save color. It'll add it to your little palette over there. And then I'm going to want a white, so you can go ahead and save a white. And with those two things done, I think that we have everything we need to just start coloring this up. I usually do the banners, these first, and then I'll come back and do the name text and everything. And then I think I want white text with a black outline on that. That looks pretty nice. So let's get all these set. Go here, go here. And then for these middle ones, I'm going to inverse. So I'm going to do white with a red text. And white with a red text. And there we go. And then back to the red outline with the white text. I mean, technically, you can have these be 3 different colors. You could have it be red, white, and blue if you're making a very American guy, or a British guy, or an Australian guy, or any number. Or it could be red, white, and green if he's Mexican or Italian, or red, white, and orange if he's Irish. You get the idea. Red and yellow for Russians. Which one are we on? Okay, there we go. Just pick it and then we'll change it if we need to. And so that is the the headers and all of that set. Then we're going to come back up here. I think I'm going to do white text with the red outline on the name. And down here on the set as well, I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to do white text with a red outline. And there we go. We've got it all set up for the colors. So the next thing we do is go into card info, and we're going to type in his name. We've got Tojo Yamamoto. You don't have to capitalize it. I think most of the default cards have their name capitalized, so I'm going to do that. I forgot to bring up Tojo's his stats, so I'm going to do that over on the second screen so that I can input them. So Tojo is, I forgot to come back onto the screen. So Tojo is 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighs 230 pounds from Tokyo, Japan. There we go. And he is ACBC rated. A, C, B, C. And he's got a 5 for a DQ, so that's all good. +2, +1, and 4. And he does have an ability, so you can type that in here. Roll 1 die. On rolls 5, 6, comma, Tojo uses the kendo stick. 0. Disqualification 6. And this is from Legends of Memphis in color. And then there you go. And it has updated everything. Everything is nice looking here. It will try to space everything correctly, size everything correctly, all of that stuff. It'll try to align everything so that this all matches up. But there we go. We've got all of that in position. We've got everything we want. So we start entering the moves. These up here will bring up this roll options and it'll tell you what one you're working on. So his level 1 moves, an armbar and twist, toss. And of course, if you're, creating your own bootleg, you may not have, you're not going to be entering stuff from another card. Jesus, I can't type chokehold. A chokehold, guys. Poke 2 eyes. 2, that's an agility move. Into ropes. A claw hold. This is a power move. And you hit OK, and it will insert it into the correct spot. So we've got level 1 offense working out there. We bring up level 2, and we go I rake 2. I hate that. If you highlight it, it makes it white, and the white on the white makes it harder to read. I may change that at some point in an update. I may not. It's not like the end of the world, but it annoys me, so there's a pretty good chance that if it annoys me, it'll get changed. Slaps to chest. Kicks to leg. And this is a choice B. Then we've got chops to head. This is a 3. And a salt throw. 3, add 1. Disqualification. And you hit OK, and it will add everything to level 2, and then you do the same thing for level 3. Since I'm live, I can't speed this up. I don't really like doing YouTube if I'm not going to do it live, because I don't edit videos or anything, so there's not really any point. It just means that I have to dedicate space on my hard drive to it before it goes online, and this way I don't have to do that. So out of the ring, we've got a stomach claw, a hit with wooden shoe. This is a 3, add 1, disqualification, and it's got an asterisk. So, and the Tojo Chops finisher. That is a level 0 finisher. We hit OK, it does the same thing. Then we move on to the defense here. Dazed 1. I'm going to go ahead and copy that because I'm going to paste it in anywhere else where he has a reversal. Just makes it easier for me to do. Dazed, and then dazed 1 tag, dazed 1 tag, hit OK. And then we're going to go to level 2 and do the same stuff. Hurt 2, this is a tag, hurt 2, hurt 2. Tojo's got a reversal there. Hurt 2 tag. And then dazed. And then we're going to move on to the final piece, which is level 3. And we're going to put down 3. He's got a tag. 3. Leave the ring. 2. Oop. I put too many spaces in that one. Hurt 2. Hurt 2. Hurt 2. And then pin 7, 4. You hit OK, and it puts everything in. So now we've actually got a card. That's complete. So what we're going to want to do is come over here to File, and if we hit Export to PNG, it's going to export it to a PNG file, which we're going to use in a sec to set it up for printing. Let's say you have other cards you want to enter. Obviously, it didn't reset it. You can come up here and hit Reset Card, and that's going to reset everything to its default values, except for the border. It won't reset the border if you have it. Check to not use the border. It'll just, it's going to stay not using the border. So anyway, that's how to do it. I'm going to go now and quit out. We're going to load it into Photoshop. I'm going to show you where the program saves. So in your Documents folder, if you're on a Windows computer, if you are on a Linux or Macintosh computer, which the program works for, this will be a little different. You'll have to go into wherever your user documents are stored. But inside there will be a folder called Bootlegger, and all of your cards will be in there. By default, it saves them with the wrestler name -front or wrestler name -back for the front and back of the card. What you're going to want to do from here is you're going to load up your image editing program. I'm going to use my older copy of Photoshop because I have it. So you're going to load up Photoshop here, or you can use GIMP or any image editing program that you want. I highly recommend setting up a template. I have a template that I use when I print cards. This is it here. Um, I can give you the dimensions and everything. So if you look here, it is set up for 8.5 by 11, which is the size of a piece of paper, at 300 pixels per inch. That's what I found gives the best quality. If you go higher than that, you don't really gain very much, and the file sizes start to get enormous. If you go lower than that, it can affect the readability on the printed version. So I tend to stick with 300. The cards that are exported are set up to be properly sized at 300 pixels per inch. So if you set up your template at 300 pixels per inch, 8.5 by 11, you should be fine. But from there, what you're going to want to do is take uh, the front and back of your card and bring it into your image editing program, however you want to do that. So it's going to have your front and your back and your template. And you'll notice that the template is set up so that the cards lay sideways. I absolutely cannot stand single card PDFs. It's a waste. So I can't, no. It's a waste. It's just like 4-card PDFs. Some people like to do them 4 cards to a thing. I don't like that either. Different reasons. Like a single card PDF is just a waste of space, especially when you cut it. It's so much wasted paper. And then the 4-card PDF, most printers have a bleed area where they don't print to on the top and bottom and left and right of the page. This is especially true of higher quality printers that are capable of printing on like heavier cardstock. They are almost always going to have a bleed area. And so if you do 4 cards to a sheet and you're using high quality cardstock in a high quality printer, the cards will not be the correct size. They will be smaller than a normal card unless you're cutting them, unless you want them to be awkwardly bordered and everything else. So 4 cards to a PDF is ridiculous. You shouldn't do that either. 2 cards is the optimal. So that's what I use here. So what you're going to want to do is cards need to be shifted. They need to be rotated. I have set up a hotkey in Photoshop to do this for me. By default, I don't think that the hotkey exists. So what you're going to want to do is come up here, image rotation, and you're going to rotate it. I think that's the right direction for the back. Yeah, counterclockwise. So once you have this rotated, you're going to highlight all of it, copy it, and then simply paste it onto your template. And then position it. So there we go, it's positioned. And then you're going to take the back, paste it onto the back template, and get it positioned, and there you go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend like you are printing these to release to the public. So if you double them up, then you print less copies. And this way, when I export it, it doesn't look silly. Why is it? Okay, my computer's being silly. Okay, there we go. We're back. Okay. For whatever reason, it just decided it was going to take forever to get it all set up. So, yeah, once we have it in there, and if you use these guidelines here, it will snap into place correctly, so you can do that. And then we'll go ahead and copy the back again and paste that into the back. And you'll notice, like, I added little edges. You don't need these. I added them just so that if I cut them and they're a little off, it won't be too noticeable on the back because I usually measure the front. And so having a little bit of extra area where you can make a little bit of a mistake on the back is good. If you measure from the back, then you may want to make the white border a little bigger on the front. It just depends on how you want to do it. But there you go. You've got these set up. And then you're going to go up here. Again, this is going to be different depending on what you use. I use Photoshop, and PDF, you're going to add the open files. If you've got like the images open, you're going to remove those. You don't need them. And then double front, double back. That's good. I don't want any notes. I'm going to set the background to gray and then hit save. And then, of course, it's going to ask me where I want to save this. I'm going to save it to my desktop so it's easy to find later. We'll call it Tojo. And so this next thing is important. You're going to go into here to compression. And if you are sending this to people for them to print, you're going to want to use some compression. I tend to use JPEG with maximum image quality. That tends to be fine. It compresses it enough that the file size is reasonable. You can also use high quality if you find that the file size is still too large. If you are setting it up so that because you're going to take it to the printer on like a thumb drive and have it printed, or you're going to print it at home, just use none. I'm going to use none. One of these files using none is about 45 megabytes, so not gigantic, but big enough that you probably aren't going to be sending them in the mail. So you're going to hit save after that, and it's going to do its thing. And then once it's done its thing, you will have a PDF file that is set up for printing. And that's all there is to it. Now, when you go to the printer, you just tell them that you want it double-sided flip-on long edge. You want it actual size, no scaling. And I recommend printing on 100-pound or 110-pound cover stock, not index. Don't let them print on 110 index. 110 index is like very flimsy. Like if you have, it's like a really cheap index card. So you don't really want that. You would rather, if you want it to feel more authentic, you want 110 cover or 100-pound cover. Glossy or matte, I've done both. I like the matte better. Some people might like the glossy better. Most places have both. So, and some places have another option called powder, which I think actually is more like the official cards than either the gloss or the matte. But the place that I get my stuff printed doesn't have a powder option. So I just end up using the matte. I think that it works the best. That's what I do like if you've ever bought a set from me and got physical cards, that's how they're printed. They're on 100-pound cover stock, matte. So anyway, yeah, so that's how to take a card from Bootlegger to PDF using Bootlegger and Photoshop. Like I said, you can use GIMP. GIMP is free. I don't personally use GIMP because I don't have GIMP. Or I think I might have it, but I've never used it because I have Photoshop. So, anywho, so that's it for this tutorial. Hopefully it wasn't too long and full of bullshit stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do with this. Yeah, post any bootlegs that you make and have a good time. Thank you very much, and I will see you